really good. We got to put another coat on tonight, but yeah, I was not happy staining that glass. I think my daughter will like the finished product, though. It's gonna look pretty cool. I'll show you a picture when I get done.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get tons of calls about this incident. I give it. Got nothing.
All the regulations.
Most generally speaking, everybody else has.
Do you know how long it's gonna?
We have a room full.
Yeah. Time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, all. Julie, you had an exciting weekend.
Yeah, it was eventful.
You're on.
All right. So for the weekend, we did have an increase of 41 more positives since Friday's release. That puts us at a total of 606 confirmed positives. Out of those, 224 are considered active cases. We have had 377 recover. We currently have one COVID positive patient in the hospital, no PUIs at this time at the hospital. We did have close to 500 that came through on Thursday for the free testing at Northview. So we're excited for that. And we're just now getting the faxes with all of the information. So we do have a few positives that came from that we will go ahead and make contact with. Not all of them were Riley County individuals. We did have a few from other counties as well, but we're making those calls this morning. So it was a pretty quick turnaround time. We are, let's see, we do have that percent positivity chart that will be going out with the news release today. That comes out every Monday, but that's also available on our website. Everything else is pretty status quo. We are continuing with our screening call line. 20 to 25 calls a day is what we were seeing last week. We do have the swab station still up in our parking lot. That volume has decreased slightly. So we still get a few that will come through every day, but not near as many as we were having, back in June. We do have our Gmail account still available, Riley County COVID-19 at gmail.com. We still get quite a few emails with questions and concerns to that. And then we're just directing people if they want to talk to somebody to call the health department, and Michelle or Shanika will answer their calls there. Sometimes they do go ahead and forward them on to that hotline. So we have record of that. And so the individuals answering the hotline, or that Gmail account rather, can go ahead and answer them there. We are looking forward to maybe doing another free testing, maybe in a different area of town, or possibly up in Leonardville or Ogden. Since it went over so well, we did talk to KDHE and they're willing to do another day for us. So that's exciting. I think that's about it. We're still meeting as command staff 3 days a week, still doing our EOC briefings on Mondays at 3. We'll continue with our Facebook Lives on Wednesday at 4:15. And then I do give a K-Man update every Tuesday and Thursday at 7. Any questions?
I don't have any.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Anybody else on screen wants to say something? If no other comment, we'll go to the commissioners. Okay. John?
Okay, well, Thursday afternoon, of course, we did the Zoom meeting for the joint county city meeting. Very lively discussion on the absent sales tax, and I guess various other regional infrastructural projects and ideas. Pretty quiet weekend overall. Spent some time just trying to get caught up on some policies and directives and things with this economic steering committee by NACO. There's a 72-page kind of policy guide well, maybe a little over halfway on that. I'll continue to kind of chip away at that a little bit at a time there, and just kind of got caught back up on all various correspondence and emails over the weekend, finally for the first time in a while. So sitting pretty good.
Okay.
Yes, the city county was a little lively. Received an email, a couple emails from former city commissioners that thanked me for my comment to Commissioner Morris that about the spirit of cooperation, how great it's been in Manhattan. I apologize, couldn't find my list of all the projects that just in my time that the city and county worked together on. I worked greatly on, and the water line going now on Westmall, they have, the stepchild corridor study. City and county worked very well when we were going to move the EMS up to the fire station, but that fell through due to K-State and many other projects that we worked well on. That's why I commented that person really ought to do the homework before they speak. And likewise, Commissioner Butler, I've always been a little irritated when he pulled that 96% out of the air up here, and the amount of work and service from the RCPD in the city, by 87%, while the figures are old for a previous year, I have a sheet that has the actual figures, and likewise, if you get nitpicking like that, the ambulance service, 380 here, 16 North County, you just go on in with there. Kind of a waste of time. My point still stands that sales tax benefits entire county is more appropriate. Understanding the city needs the money, but then I think the city ought to make a separate agreement on the following county side to collect that sales tax and keep all of it. But anyway, other than that, like I say, we got a lot discussed, and got it all out in the air. And then I went back to work for myself, getting my stuff done and lots of mowing. The grass hasn't given up one bit this year in August. Normally in August I mow about every other week instead of twice a week, and it gets expensive, about 4 or 5 gallons of gas each time. It's a shock, So that's pretty much my week.
Okay.
I get lucky this week. I'll get hot enough, it might finally start to burn that grass off.
Okay. Well, I too attended the city county meeting. Thought it was lively, like you, Ron, and hopefully we made our point to the city, which I'm not sure, but it was good. Did receive one phone call late last night. I say late, it was 10 o'clock already. And so from one of my favorite people in the north. And we talked for about 10 minutes. He told me what I should do. So we're going to see what I'll do and go from there. Anyway, that's about the extent of it. So I guess we can start with the business meeting.
Business contract amendment to McDowell Creek Road reconstruction project, the estimated amount of $165,886.30.
Well, we got that road opened up, gotta get it done. So,
There's old Gary.
Oh, Gary. I
Old
love
Gary.
that.
Now that's OLE.
we'll have to stop for a second.
I think we've pretty much been over the additional work that we're talking about. Going to be, actually, we've already done additional cement subgrade modification on the outside 8 foot of each lane. We've got the southbound 3.5 inch base course, asphalt base course down. I think the majority of the increase that you're seeing here is for the additional inch of asphalt that we're going to put down, which is going to add strength to the road and extend the life. We can afford to do it, so we're going to do it, or we'd like to do it.
Yeah.
With your permission.
I would probably say at this point, it makes sense since we've already got the road opened up, and at that point, get it done, get it over with. And
It's appropriate. That's shows that's what that sales tax fund is for.
That is correct.
To maintain our road. That's an important road. So I move to approve the contract amendment to the Dow Creek Road project in the estimated amount of $165,886.30 as presented by Kaufman Company.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I will point out that is an estimated number. We won't really know
Just about.
until all
Yeah.
the quantities are.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gary. Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
She's better now that Elizabeth's here. She might actually smile this week in the office.
I'm alone.
Next, on, we have Raleigh County Conservation District 2021 budget.
Discussion or? do we have a motion?
I guess we did the same thing last year.
Yeah, it's always a
It's a-
certification process after we have our budget finalized is for there.
Okay, this is the one I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the Riley County Conservation District 2021 budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
One spot, Marvin. Thank you.
Date it for me.
Next down, we have tax roll corrections.
Questions on it?
No, unfortunately, no.
Go ahead and make a motion that we approve the tax roll correction.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have Raleigh County Personnel Action Form, Leslie Campbell, Nurse Supervisor, Health Department Separation Service, Avery Mugler, Seasonal Labor, Public Works Separation Service, and Josiah Upshaw, Seasonal Labor, Public Works Separation Service. All three, please. Next, Riley County position action form for nursing supervisor and health department grade B. Ready for the minutes of the board is.
You guys ready? There you go, okay. Page 1.
I do have one on page 1. Down in the middle there where it says Brad Yeager from RCPD. There should be a J and not a Y.
Okay, page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12.
Move to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Tentative agenda, look, gentlemen.
Next Monday, real short, so I'm gonna trade today for next Monday.
Sounds good, thanks for letting me know. Any items for next week's press conference, gentlemen?
Don't have any.
Nothing here.
Okay, you guys think of anything, let me know. Next, we have Robin Cole at 9 o'clock. I'm sure you don't want to stay for your meal, have a pizza.
No, I didn't leave anything there, so. One last chance to get in trouble.
Oh, we're back, gentlemen.
All right.
I'm sorry, before you go, I don't want to ask the board to have an executive session. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
What are you really looking at?
I'm assuming it's during your time.
During my time, I'd like to ask the board to add an executive session to my minister.
Okay. I move that we add an executive session to Clancy Holman's administrative work session.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe you like pizza. Maybe you would like some pizza. So you got big plans for Labor Day?
Not yet, but I'm thinking on a couple of things anyway. With 4 full days off, I need to do something. Just get away for the weekend.
Yeah. Hear about one of the oldest restaurants in New York. It's been closed.
I think there's a lot of other things going on. I think the pandemic was probably the final straw.
Yeah. Suppose that they do operate on a very small margin. Actually, single ownership, not a corporate deal.
Yeah. That's very true.
But then they're in a very expensive part of town.
I think that's been the problem, what I read.
Yeah, but that's what makes it nice. You can't say it's the oldest and move somewhere else. But it all depends the state you're in
That it does.
and who's running. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing today?
Well, I've been better, but I've been a lot worse, so I can't complain.
There you go.
How are you doing?
We're doing
Doing
fine.
good.
Doing great.
So Robin is gonna be here.
Yep. 9 o'clock. She's always there. Always shows up right.
Yeah. Well, 8 months ago, we didn't know we had it so good.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Months later, we're
Hindsight is
struggling to
always,
get back there.
hindsight is always 20/20.
Yeah. Gentlemen, one topic on intergovernmental next meeting date discussion. If you guys, if the chair might want to ask whether talk any on the right. We do.
I don't want to change it.
Instead of changing the date that works for everyone else.
If we move it to those dates they put on that survey, I'm not gonna be able to make it. It won't work around my work
So, I
schedule.
mean, why can't they add it to their agenda like we had to ours?
Oh, well. They already meet on that day, just make a short agenda.
Yeah.
Hi, Robin.
Morning.
Glad you could make it under the
Yes.
circumstances.
I'm glad I could make it too. It's an interesting time to be alive.
Yes, if you weren't, it doesn't matter.
From the sounds of it,
And if I wasn't, it wouldn't
from the sounds of it, gonna get more interesting. We got what, 2 tropical storm hurricanes are gonna
Yeah.
make landfall at the same time, and some asteroid that's supposed to hit before, the day before the election.
Well, that's like Ron said.
That's irony right there, if you
Like
ask
Ron
me.
said, I can't believe there's any more in California that's still
Yeah.
burning.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think there'd be anything left to burn.
Yeah, that's unreal.
There's how many thousands of miles? Is it?
I mean,
Square
this many
miles?
years in a row,
Yeah.
of millions of acres, why did, it's mind boggling.
I'm starting to see a lot more pictures and video from the roadshow that hit up in the northern plains up there, and I mean, it's wiped out. I bet you it's wiped out a third of the corn in the state of Iowa, easy.
Morning. Appreciate that.
I think that's what you wanted to.
Yep.
Morning.
That's a wonder it's still there, you're right.
I think I got to see here, yeah.
Well, I hadn't even heard about Colorado until.
Yeah, it's not really in the limelight, and let's say, if you watch real close, you'll do a little bit in the news, and not much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about Colorado either until someone told me that for a while, I-70 west of Denver was closed.
Mhm.
I don't think it is anymore. I was reading yesterday, they've got about 22% containment of the fires along the interstate. But that, yeah. And I guess California fires are sort of taking over, eclipsing the Colorado fires.
Well, and everything else,
Yeah,
the public is convinced.
I didn't get your follow-up email this morning, just so you're aware.
yeah. I saw that you sent me one saying, I'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
And I didn't respond.
Okay.
That's why you didn't get my
Okay.
follow-up email, because I didn't send one. Because I opened it up about 20 minutes ago, and I thought, I'll see him.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I saw it came in over the weekend. I didn't have my laptop at home, I had my
Mhm.
device. But it's hard to get it, I can get it, I figured out how to get in through the encryption when I'm on my laptop, but trying to use it with my
Yeah,
cell phone,
yeah.
it's like, okay, I'll check when I get in the office Monday morning and see what John said.
Yeah. I typically, if I've got my phone on me, like at work, I'll check email off of it, but I usually don't respond or reply just because it just the security just gets tough. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, I can wait till I get home.
Yeah. You feel pretty confident that it's secure though.
Yeah.
When you,
Oh, yeah.
even you. can
Oh, yeah.
get in.
Yeah. Even when I can't get in, yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how I felt about that. Like, I saw that come across, I was like, oh, geez.
Okay, Robin,
Okey-doke.
Time to get up there.
Yeah. So I think you all know Stan
Yes. Yep.
Wilson. Stan is one of our board members here in Riley County. We're really fortunate to have him be on our governing board. So it's good to see you all this morning, and I think that this might be one of the first times that all systems have been go with the reporting and televising, maybe last month. But it looks like it's working. So, as you know, we, between April 4th and July 1st had shut our doors and sent almost all of our staff home to work remotely. And at that time, we really had to sort of cobble together a network that was heavily dependent on the resources of our staff, because we simply as an organization did not have the kind of resources that would allow people to work remotely. The last time I met, I did announce that several local foundations, including the Caroline Pine Foundation, the Lincoln and Dorothy Deal Foundation, and the Greater Manhattan Community Foundation, had responded to that situation by very generously providing funding for laptops and other remote technologies for our staff here in Manhattan. Those were significant gifts and really allowed us to be able to, here in Manhattan, respond to those needs through laptops and other televideo technologies. Well, I'm really delighted to say that on Thursday, just this last week, we received word that we had been awarded our second USDA Rural Utilities Service Distance Learning and Telemedicine grant of $832,505.
Wow. Finally.
I was giddy. It was incredible. The purpose of that grant is to expand televideo resources to Republic, Cloud, Clay, Marshall, and Potawatomi counties. Our first award, and you probably remember me mentioning this, came in November of 2019, and so it wasn't that long ago. And that first award was for $495,488 to expand televideo services to Jewell, Mitchell, and Washington counties. And so that brings the total award from the USDA to $1,327,993. These two awards are part of an initiative of the USDA to benefit rural residents. But it not only does it benefit our 8 rural counties, but it also is providing equipment for our Manhattan or our Riley County and Erie County offices so that we can help support those rural counties. So we're in the process right now of purchasing and installing equipment from the first award, which will be placed in our offices and in the local county health departments in Mankato, Beloit, and Washington. And the reason we're putting the equipment in the county health departments is that in some of those smaller counties, our offices aren't open 5 days a week. And so by having that equipment also in the county health departments, if there are emergencies or needs that arise on days of the week that we're not open for business, people could go to their county health department and access services that way. That initial grant, as I mentioned, also provides equipment for Manhattan offices and Junction City offices so that we can serve those satellite offices. The second award, and so the award that we received on Thursday, which is for the $832,505, We'll place equipment in our offices in Belleville, Clay Center, Concordia, Marysville, and Wamego. That second award will also provide funding for laptops for our community services staff in our 8 rural counties. And so through local foundations, we've been able to, those local foundations have allowed us the opportunity to meet the needs for remote technology for our Manhattan-based staff. But until this award, we have not had as much access to support for our staff who are in our rural counties. And so the community services staff who will benefit from this are our case managers, our psychosocial rehabilitation services providers, the staff who are working with the most seriously mentally ill in those counties, which include children who have serious emotional disturbances and adults with severe and persistent mental illnesses. You know, when we were given the first award, we really saw that as being foundational for the expansion of remote services throughout our 10-county service area. This second award really does complete that circle of connectivity. And so we will be better positioned to be able to serve individuals outside of our more densely populated communities. So we were very delighted about that award, very appreciative to the USDA, and very excited about the opportunities that brings. Any questions about that? So there's been a lot happening in terms of the availability of financial resources for mental health. The CARES Act Provider Relief Fund provides $100 billion in relief funds to hospitals and other healthcare providers in the form of Medicare and Medicaid payments. And the idea is that providers may receive up to 2% of their total annual revenue. We've already received a little over $20,000, which isn't very much in the big scheme of things, but there was an issue with their portal being shut down and payments weren't coming out. That portal has been reopened and it'll be reopened until August 28th. And so we'll have an opportunity to go back into that and apply for additional funds through that CARES Provider Relief Fund. And so hopefully we'll see some additional support come as a result of that Provider Relief Fund. We also learned that during rounds 2 and 3 of the Sparks fund distribution, that public and private entities will be receiving funds. During round 2, KDADS has received $12.5 million in Sparks funds, and KDADS plans to distribute $7.5 million to the community mental health centers based on numbers of clients who were served in 2018 and in 2019. That's about all I know at this point. KDADS doesn't yet know how they're going to distribute that. They've talked about doing it in the form of an amendment to our CMHC contracts, and that would be something then that they would send out and that we would sign. But in terms of what kind of evidences we'll need to give of expenses, I can only assume that we would need to give the same kind of evidences that the counties have been expected to give, since it all is coming out of that same pot of money. But certainly as I learn more about what that means for Pawnee, I will let you know about that. We did see a rate increase to our substance abuse block grant funds. The state is not increasing their overall budget for substance abuse, but they're increasing the rates. And so it's sort of the good news, bad news. It means we'll get paid more when we provide services that are covered by the state, but the money won't go as far. And so potentially fewer people would have access to services. And because the money won't last as long when the rates are up, but the budget isn't up. They are using Sparks funds to give a $200 stipend per patient to outpatient providers and a $2,000 stipend per patient to inpatient providers. So there's another route through which some of the Sparks funds are coming out to substance abuse providers throughout the state. KDAD's also received $2 million from SAMHSA to respond to mental health and substance use disorders that were the impact of COVID or of COVID-19. Riley County's not going to see any of that money, however, because when KDAD's first applied for it, they looked to the counties that were the hardest hit at that time by COVID-19. And so Johnson, Ford, Finney, Leavenworth, Sedgwick, Seward, Wyandotte, and Shawnee counties are the counties that are going to be receiving that funding. The KDHE has been awarded $700,000 a year for 5 years from SAMHSA to implement a program called Zero Suicide in Health Systems. And the program Zero Suicides in Health Systems is based on the idea that people who are in treatment for mental health and substance use disorders those suicides ought to be preventable. And so the theme or the thesis of that initiative is let's get people into treatment because we can save lives if people are in treatment. And that of course is something that we believe as well. The final thing I'd probably like to just mention is that we received our contract from the state for the Crisis Stabilization Center funding this year. I think when I look back on it, this will be the third contract that we've had. Can you believe that? That it's not been 3 years, it's only been since November that we opened, but this will be the third year of contract funding from the state. And we're very pleased because the state is maintaining the level of funding at the same $700,000 that we received last year. And so when you consider the money that the state has put into the Crisis Stabilization Center from the beginning, that funding comes to $2.125 million in state money to support the Crisis Stabilization Center that's located here in Manhattan and that serves all 10 of our counties. So I just remain very grateful to all of the people who participated in our effort to bring the Crisis Stabilization Center idea to fruition. And there were so many public servants who were involved in that process, both at the local and the state level. And I remain also very grateful to the state for its continued support of and recognition of the importance of that Crisis Stabilization Center in the lives of our clients. So lots going on, but lots of good news. So
Yeah. And we're trying to do what we can here with some of that Sparks money to provide better technological services for some of those telehealth resources that are going to be available, but it's a work in progress.
Exactly, that bandwidth issue, the skeleton has to be built and has to be strong in order for all this equipment to work the way it needs to work. So we appreciate everything that all of the different entities are doing to make sure that that skeleton is strong and functioning. Okay,
No other questions.
well,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you,
It's
Robin.
good to see
Yes.
you.
You
You
too.
bet.
Take care.
Yes, you too.
Next, gentlemen, we have Jesse Hibbert, 9:15. There she comes.
You're on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're hanging in there. How about you? Okay.
Monday.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm here this morning for two issues. We had adult and juvenile line item adjustments. So you just go ahead and read the KDOC requires anytime you have line item adjustments of more than $5,000 or more than 1% of our current budget amount. We do have to get permission or approval from our JCAP from you guys. So if you look on the handouts provided, it shows you the amount of our line item adjustments. We had $8,896 for our adult services budget and $16,713 in budget adjustments for juvenile services. That seems like a lot on the juvenile, and it kind of is, but at the same time as well, that's transferring within the budget, so we weren't necessarily taking that money from another fund in there. We were transferring it within that fund, just from one service to another. But we did have to take some money from our carryover funds in both of those budgets. We did explain why below. I'm not sure if you were able to read ahead on that. Some of that was COVID-related expenses for both of those accounts. Juvenile services, we did have to let go of a employee, and we did have quite a large amount that we had to pay out, so that required that we had to shift some money around there. So that is the line item adjustment request for the juvenile carryover and adult carryover reimbursement budgets. We do not have to spend it, but we do have to budget per KDOC guidelines the carryover dollars that we have. So that is the second thing that we have in front of you today. Just kind of where we thought we would offset. We do have potentially the need to go into our carryover budget again this year. So some of those things like our copier expenses kind of seem to keep creeping up and up. So we may actually use those dollars from our carryover account. But that is what we have in front of you.
Any questions?
No.
You have a motion to,
Looks like we need to make two separate motions, is that right?
That's how they have them, yeah.
I'll go ahead and start by moving to approve the fiscal year 2021 adult services carryover reimbursement in the amount of $11,345.55.
all in favor? Aye.
I'll move to approve the fiscal year 21 juvenile detention carryover reimbursement budget in the amount of $11,850.16 as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair, a lot of signatures.
Sure.
I don't have it on here, but I do need signatures for the line item adjustments. I don't know if that's, I'm sorry, that would need to be a separate budget as well. I don't know if we have that as a possible motion.
Yeah, it's not on.
But it's not on there. I apologize. I'm just saying that now, but I do need signatures on those line item adjustments.
Yeah, we can put that with that first motion. Is that okay with you?
That's fine with me if that works for you, or do I need to come back at another time? I didn't
Put it
realize.
on there. We're all right with that.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I apologize. Any other questions? That's good.
Good to meet
Anyone
you.
else me?
Thank you guys
Yeah.
so much. Stay
Keep up the
safe.
good
Thank
work.
you.
Thank you.
Marvin, if I could please have you add to the press conference, there's some confusing mailing that went out from another
Okay,
entity regarding elections, so we're getting inundated.
probably should have just did it wrong to begin with, and that way you understand that you got something coming back. Just-
No, I don't think that's a good idea on this one.
Well, but they got all these people that want all sorts of stuff.
That there is, that there is. People are not making their job.
I did notice on the Secretary of State's, State Secretary of State's Facebook, he put up something about how Facebook's registering Kansas residents, and there's almost like 9 million registered. He's like, there's only 3 million something residents of the state of Kansas. You can't always buy into that being an accurate total.
I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah. He said you really need to go to a trusted site if you are going to register. And he listed off a couple of them on there.
I'm
including the-
surprised.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, you know, nationally, the front of the ballot don't have Republican Democrat on it, the envelope.
the envelope,
So this big thing about all the postal departments,
right.
it's gonna be a problem with the mail-in. It's gonna affect everybody.
Right.
If the post office
They all
falls down
the same.
someplace, it affects.
It's all to create confusion, hysteria, and distrust.
Yep.
And it's working. It's working.
It's just amazing how people believe everything they read here.
Well, you know, since Al Gore invented the internet, why everybody believes they're written on.
You're about right. That's about when it started.
Yeah, he said he invented the internet back, you know, it made headlines and.
Well, even Abraham Lincoln said you can't believe everything you read on the internet.
I thought it was, I thought that
That's a
was,
fact.
I thought it was Abraham Lincoln said everything on the internet is true.
He said that too.
Oh, okay. Because I heard him say it.
He also said, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend 4 hours sharpening the axe.
That's good, John. How many people got to pause to think about that? That thing's almost as bad as a bond document, isn't it?
God, print your name, or type it, and then sign.
Thank you.
I'm in trouble trying to print, because I'm trying to remember how it goes.
You got a whole generation that only knows how to print. I don't think they even know cursive.
Bad thing is, if I had to write in cursive more than my name anymore, it'd be a struggle for me. I haven't done it so long, you know, just
Yeah.
the signature's automatic anymore, but yeah, if I tried to write out a sentence in cursive anymore, I could do it, it just, I'd have to think about it. Wouldn't be automatic like it used to be.
For a long time, when I get like, credit or debit card receipts, I just scribble on them basically. And I started thinking, man, if I ever have to go back and try to find one or a copy of one, it'd probably be better if my actual signature was on there for matching up purposes. So I actually do take the time to try to sign them out
Well,
properly.
so many places don't even do that.
No,
Too, you know,
each machine's got a little different setup each place. We don't know what it is about the Twins, but apparently the Royals just really struggle against them.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that. All of it.
You know, they lost 2 or 3 over the weekend at home, but pretty close games.
You want to go before Greg or you want to be after Greg?
I'll just be last.
There's a few more chairs. I think we can get you all in there.
Oh, they're gonna be on the live stream. That's right. Good morning.
It's like the hot seat.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
And the hot seats are up here.
That's probably true.
Okay, right. Where's Jane? Right here. Okay. Okay. Well, these are always great times and they're always sad times because we lose someone good. And so we're happy that you will move on. So this is presented to you for a time from Broward County. Okay. And what are your plans?
Yeah. We have a lot of things about taking a master gardening class.
Oh, okay. Let's see that. Great.
Speaking of,
I don't know. See children, go see whatever.
Yeah.
Grandchildren.
Yeah.
Go spoil it. Make them come to you too. I just had them, we ended up with 4 grandchildren in the house for a week. Or not quite a week, but everybody was there. Great help. Whatever. You were instructed to take over the kitchen. No cooking, no dishwashing. No water. So, anyway, well, James, congratulations
Thank you very much.
for your time here. You're going to be missed. And we hope that you're going to have a great time. Thank you, Beach.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
thank you for being part of that.
Photo op.
We'll stay over here. You get in front here. Get in front.
You're welcome to take your mask off.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just smile through it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm grinning.
Is that good?
Okay, we're doing it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think, sir, you're up.
They weren't all here to see you. Master Gardener crowd.
Looks like you've got one coming back, so there's still one.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
A couple of programs coming up. I guess we've talked about Master Gardener. Les Jane, there's a bunch more signed up. We're going to opt into the online training that the state is offering. And it starts September 3rd, which is when our in-person would have. But with the recommendations of masks and staying apart, I think we could have done it in far off fall, but maybe not very comfortable. So we are still offering the Master Gardener program. It will just be the online version. And I would need that information, your registration this Friday to get you enrolled in that. So if you're still interested in becoming a Master Gardener, taking the training, you can't do that. You just need to have your information by this Friday to get you enrolled. Difference is these are all online courses, and they'll be every Thursday afternoon from 1 till 4 o'clock going through December 17th. So that spreads it out a little bit more than what we could have done in person, and we would have done a morning and an afternoon session. Kind of got it wrapped up a little quicker. But anybody have questions on that, please give me a call, 785-537-6350. The other program we have coming up is on Saturday. So it is getting lawn time for our cool season grasses. And we'll be at Blueville Nursery at 9 a.m. We'll be outside. So we want to beat the heat of the day. So we'll start at 9. Usually those at Blueville start at 10, but this year, or this time, will be at 9 a.m. We'll be talking the different types of grasses that grow here in Riley County, and the weeding, fertilization, all those lawn care items that we need to take care of. Typically in September is our best month to get our grasses up and going and doing wonderful things. We have been blessed for our cool season grasses. Hasn't been as hot as some summers, definitely hasn't been as dry as some summers. So maybe just the fertilization is the real important thing to do here in September. We'll talk about that, but maybe you have a new lawn you're putting in, or do you have some thinner spots that you need to do some overseeding, so we'll talk about that. So again, 9 a.m. Blueville Nursery there on West Anderson. We'll be outside. So prepare for that.
September is a good time, like, over in the, not the timber, over just kind of a not maintained area. Every year for probably 10 years now, there's, I looked them up, don't remember the name anymore, but they're flowers, come up every year. Probably about this big around, they got the light colored petals, kind of reddish and whatever, but there's 12 of them come up. Beautiful, they last a long time, they bloom, they've been, I think they've bloomed now for about a month.
Wow.
And I'd like to transplant them, so is that a September thing, or?
It's usually easier on you and the plant to do it when it's dormant. So once the foliage has died back,
Okay,
or so that could be this fall, or if you mark it
okay,
and wait till next springtime, let's say April-ish, go in, dig up that clump and move it to where you need it.
I think what I'll do is, maybe this afternoon or tomorrow, I'll go over and I'll pair of nippers and I'll cut off everything around it so I can identify what it actually is.
Yeah, some type of marker flag or something. Plants can kind of be moved anytime, but they're easier on you and still easier on them to move when they're dormant, resting period. And just as long as, if we did it this fall and we had some freezing temperatures, those roots might not get down and you may get some heating where they dry out.
Okay,
So mulch might not be a bad idea if you do it this fall. Or if you remember, we can do it next spring, we don't have that freeze thaw cycle that can heat them out and down.
I've got some 7 different varieties of bare nut trees.
Yeah,
Would
I think,
do that in September, or?
yeah, soil temperatures are generally nice and warm for root development. So fall is usually good for a lot of plants to move. There are a few that do not really adapt well to fall. Not sure about nut trees, but it's a small list that prefer not to plant in the fall. Generally speaking, if you move it, soil temperature still warm, get it watered, put mulch down, I would say 95% of the time that's a good situation. Yeah, great.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
Take care.
You too. Hey, we're on, Rich.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Thank you, Commissioner, for adding me to the agenda for press conference. I just wanted to clarify some information out there. We've had a lot of requests via email, phone calls, questions about a mailer that was sent out from the Democratic Party. It's actually a mailer that came out of Missouri. And of course, they have sent it to all registered Democrats in Riley County and throughout the state. It's causing quite a bit of confusion because it has the return address, of course, of the appropriate county clerk and everything. So they think it came from our office. Our office is not affiliated with it at all. It's only going to registered voters that are the Democratic Party. The reason it's caused a lot of confusion, some people think it's a ballot, which it is not. It's just an application for a ballot. And so just want to let people know it is not from our office. If they have concerns with it, they need to contact the Kansas Democratic Party. Of course, as you know, we went to the time and trouble to send that out to all registered voters early on for both the primary and general. And so the public and commissioners need to understand this has increased a significant workload on our office. And now we're getting all of these applications that have already been put into the system, but we don't know if they're put into the system unless we go through the entire process to go reinsert it in the system and see that it's already in there. No one has to worry because we're getting another application from them that they're going to get 2 ballots. That wouldn't happen because we can only put it in there one time per person to get a ballot. And it's caused confusion in some households where the spouses may not be registered by the same party. And one spouse may say, well, why did I get one, but my spouse did not? And you say, well, because you're registered one party and they're registered the other. So has created a significant amount of confusion. As I'm sitting here in this meeting, I'm getting emails about it from constituents. Why did this come in? One person said it looked like junk mail and they threw it away, but my wife says it wasn't. So Just understand that mailer was not developed by Riley County, was not developed by the state of Kansas or the Secretary of State's office, it's the State Democratic Party, and that's who they should contact on those. Regarding another question I'd like to clarify for the public is, of course, you gentlemen know we send out our mailers for the primary and general ballot. We cannot send out that general ballot until October 14th, I believe it is. And so people have wondered, well, why haven't I gotten my ballot? Well, there's state rules and regulations that we can't send those out until the beginning of advance voting, which is in October. So those ballots cannot be sent out at this time, and they will be mailed out at the appropriate time for everyone that has applied for the general ballot by mail. Any questions? Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you. Trouble.
Yeah, that's why I didn't receive mine.
Thanks, gentlemen. We have Craig Cox at 9:45. Oh, speaking of the devil, there's Mr. Cox. Snuck in on us.
We did it. We did it, Greg.
Mosquito. That's for sure.
He started, this scientist started, this school here. Around the world renowned in malaria from the time he graduated college until he retired here about 2 years ago. And he was all enthusiastic for the 50 years. And he said that man has never heard of malaria. Plus with a number of other fevers and things that he is terror. And they'll never be able to confidence. They've never been able to do. I want to work on malaria.
Yep.
It's a, millions, hundreds of thousands of millions every year.
Also, looking on there, mosquitoes kill more people than anything else around the world.
So they thought it was smart to make a genetically engineered one that they're letting go in Florida. Yeah, that makes sense. That's smart.
Got about 15 seconds, maybe 14.
I'm just waiting for the call.
Watching the deal up there. Know about where it hits. So. Go, you can go ahead, you're gonna get it. There you go.
Good morning,
Good
Commissioners.
morning.
Well, my car this morning is really a follow-up to a car that Leon did last Thursday.
Mhm.
He was before you last Thursday for a change order in the Fairmont Heights construction of the sewer district. Because there's been some changes in the design from the estimate, BG is gonna be doing a full-time inspection now. That change order actually increased the cost of the project from $535,000, which was the estimate in the resolution that created Fairmont Heights Sewer District, to $606,000 as it stands now. That's a 13% increase over the estimated amount of $535,000. By the sewer district statutes, at this point in time, just before construction, there is an increase of more than 10%. The county commission must hold a public hearing to consider that cost increase. What you have before you in my car and attached is the notice of the public hearing for Thursday, September 10th. I'll get a time from Cindy Pedro later this afternoon that will be published in the paper later this week. At that public hearing on the 10th, you have two options you can do. You can either decide that because of the increase, the project is not feasible and just discontinue the project, or you can approve the increase and continue with the project. I'll give you a little preview of what my comments will be at that time. We started this project because there were a couple houses out in that housing addition, that subdivision, that their lateral fields were failing. Their lots had no more space for additional lateral fields. If they can't get sewer and another option, then they'll have to move out of their houses. And the other option out there is to connect with the sewer, the city and county put across the river out there to be used. Not continuing the project would mean people would have to evacuate them. It's going to be my recommendation to the 10th that the commission approve the cost increase and continue with the project. But we need to get this notice published so we can have that hearing on September 10th. I just ask for your approval of that notice.
Well, I move this.
Greg, I think it's important to point out, one of the reasons we did is the percentage of USDA funding for the project. Their USDA funding for this project as well.
Yes, and I forget those numbers.
I think it's 45%.
For what we're spending.
The grant alone.
Yeah, I believe it is 45%, but basically, if you go over a certain percentage, you already say that, you have to republish.
Yeah, that's the point, but my point is here is the reason we're doing this, the cost increase is never good for residents, which they won't be happy about. The reason we really pushed this project is because the government is paying 45% of this project, so it's very costly to those individuals, but it would be much more costly had we had to do the same thing and not have USDA funding available.
Yes.
We do have that USDA funding, and we've done a lot of contact with residents out there for various reasons, getting temporary easements, getting permanent easements, and it's amazing to see. In some aspect, I don't think we're going to have any complaint about this cost increase. Another way, we want to have one or two people come in and inquire, but across the board, the majority of the folks want the system put in because they know if they don't have it, they'll have to move out of the homes.
So where is the 13% cost increase coming from?
As I
Inspection.
42,000 is that additional inspection.
right. Yeah, that was the change order last
Okay, that's
Thursday.
right,
Because the county was going to do most of it, but now we're not, right? So BG is.
Where there's discussion between either the county or the city was gonna do
Okay,
it because
or
the
the city,
project has
okay,
increased so
city.
much. It's gone from a 50-day construction, 50-day construction to a 110-day construction. And neither the city nor the county can do the inspection, so BG is gonna do that.
Okay.
That's part of that cost, and then
with the raise of this money, I think the contingency amounts will increase also.
And remember, gentlemen, the reason the city and county can't do the inspection is because both departments are down an inspector. So there's not enough personnel right now.
But this also started in 2017, so now
Right.
we're in 2020, and the construction costs have increased.
Sure.
More than the percentage that was allowed.
It's been a big project, times of it expended on the easement process was just amazing. We had to get temporary easements so we could get out there to line out the project, and then we had to get permanent easements for every sewer, service line on the property, and, it's been an interesting project, just easements alone.
I wouldn't even help if I decided if I could do it for 36,000 or 42. At this point, I move that the board approve the notice of public hearing as proposed.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. We'll see what it brings.
Chairman,
Like I
please.
say, some,
I think
I
it'll work.
anticipate no complaints whatsoever. We may have some people call my office between now and once they, we have to publish this and then mail out a letter to every resident about this. So I think I'll be fielding some phone calls here probably the next 5 or 7 days.
Nice places out there, and the people enjoy it. And I think they'll, for the most part, I think they'll be good.
There are some, but we had those hearings and there are some people that were not
There'll be a few.
enthused. There are those that had to have it, some that just had their system done. So there will be some concern
Yeah,
over cost increase.
some of those people have mellowed a little bit, and this might get them fired up again, so we'll see. But it's still a good project for that subdivision.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Okay,
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Ken.
all right.
Well, that's the bridge over Wildcat there on 18, sure, interesting project. My gosh, the equipment there, and the way they're going about.
Yep. I think that, I don't see them getting it done in 2 years.
No. Especially coming into spring, Wildcat has to do a normal thing that it does in a normal year, and rise 15, 20 feet, 2, 3 times in a year. Slow them down a little.
thing that I'll. Yeah. I want to get the info from certain people.
There's the next headline.
Call me about any little thing that they don't like. And they demand that I fix it.
Yeah, and there's people who demand that you fix the city thing. I don't know the difference. But now, city's getting all the blame on this doing nothing. No, I don't. I've got any fault.
Can be. So Vicky. We'll see an increase in suicide across the nation. Bankruptcies, we'll see things happening that we don't normally see.
Well, we haven't seen here the yet, so. But the builder said last night we were talking, you know, if we were teenagers, early kids in college, you know, you don't always act rationally, especially after a drink. And so, you know, it's just nationwide, it's not just.
Yeah.
It's not just Manhattan.
Did you see what happened over in Lawrence over the weekend? Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
terrible. That
What was
poor
that?
guy.
What was that?
I don't remember what fraternity, but a guy was driving up in that neighborhood and took the wrong turn and hit their driveway and they blocked him off. Wouldn't let him
Threw a
leave and they
drink
threw a
on him,
drink through his
went
car
over.
and,
And then the house mother was out there. Annoying.
yeah, just kind of in a daze, just kind of waving like bye-bye, bye-bye, is what she kept saying. Anyway, I guess the chancellor, whatever, issued a notice this morning, cease and order on 2 of them, including that one, so.
We need to stay right on top of all of us. We need to
Yeah.
stay right on top of it.
Had a huge issue with someplace down at the University of Auburn over the weekend too.
And that was a proud moment for that house mom's family.
Oh, yeah.
You got you're supposed to be mature adult.
Yeah, right.
House mother out there.
By the look of the video, she was, other than the gentleman in the car, she was the only adult there.
We doing this. 1 o'clock.
Supposedly,
Somebody else. Oh, we gotta get cut off.
Yeah, we gotta move this along. We're gonna be eating it along this time.
What? Probably should make, I guess. As soon as 9 o'clock hits, I guess. You want 9 o'clock, you wanna go into executive session?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Excuse me. I was trying to hurry it along.
You can try.
It is 10 o'clock. Do you
Yeah,
wanna
okay,
do
go
the
ahead.
executive session first?
Yes.
Okay. How long do you?
30 minutes.
That's what I figured, okay. I move the county commission, including Chairman Rodriguez, Commissioner Ford, and Commissioner Wells, recess into executive session on potential litigation for the purpose of consultation with Clancy Holman, Riley County Counselor, attorney for the commission, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, an exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act, the open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 10:30 a.m. Julie Gibbs, Health Department Administrator, will be present to provide factual information at some point.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that makes
I think both of them opposed everything we're doing.
Okay. You ready?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I move the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
Second?
All in favor?
Uh, Yeah, I move the record reflect action shall be taken consistent with consensus reached in executive session.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're
More
welcome.
money.
All right.
Missed a couple.
Yes, well, we're ordering pizza today, let's just overdo it. Send the bill to the chairman.
That's all I have, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Kathy.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah.
Sometimes these are delivered just to see if you catch them.
You're doing a good job testing us. Next page.
My vulture's getting hungry. I must have run out of stumps.
Find something else. Squirrel every once in a while.
Yeah, they're on their own for a while there. Unless wherever that critter was, got that little fawn, but there was 2 fawns and 2 mothers in this morning to eat. So.
Oh, neat. I like seeing little fawns.
Oh, yeah, they bounce and hop and jump around.
They're so cute. Okay, gentlemen, next thing we have is intergovernmental at noon. You're not gonna be here,
No,
correct?
no.
Okay. So, having pizza get here about 10 till, gentlemen.
Okay,
All right.
Salad, just so you know.
See you.
Adios. I gotta return.
And make a motion that somebody about adjourning after.
oh, yeah, I'll make a motion that we adjourn after the noon intergovernmental.
All in favor? Aye. That doesn't mean you can't come down for pizza.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I got work to do.
That's a 4-letter word. Where are you
Oh,
using
yeah.
it here?
I gotta give Mike Dodson a quick email back here.
I was kind of wondering if that information, if that issue gets brought up during intergovernmental, if this information might be good then. That's why I kind of put the rush
Yep.
on it to get it to you. Seems to be the topic. I heard Jason Smith was interviewed on, came in this morning about that issue. You got us all set up for the intergovernmental? Mary?
I have the invite that you sent me. It's through Google Meet, so I'll come over probably 20-15 minutes till I'm trying to get that set up, and then we'll end Zoom and start the
Thank you.
other one.
Total workload is, doesn't understand a whole lot of stuff. Doesn't understand, I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Well, one of our favorite guys like John Wink. Mhm. Oh, they get it all. You didn't do anything like it, you didn't know it. What happened? Some things I don't consider. Yeah. 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 Mhm. Yeah, and I don't know, that it's happened before, even before this change of administration, that, they were asked to go up and get a guy, and have an officer up there because it kept burning on a windy day when the state said no burning and stuff like that, but this guy had a ring around the fire, which it says it's a food deal, it's not a burning just to burn, but the wind was extremely strong, and he was about 10, 15 feet from a big cedar up in West Park. And so, anyway, and, they wouldn't do anything about it.
Thanks a lot. See ya. I don't know if you have any more bookcases lying around.
Well, it just, I just got my phone number,
How you doing? So, yeah, they're gonna bring us some food here in a few minutes. So. Get that taken care of. We're gonna go into our 12 o'clock meeting.
I'll leave that out of your one too. Unless you need it closed. Okay. If you see somebody walking out with 2 laptops, one of them's mine and one of them's yours. So just call them. He left his here. Just let me know. I don't expect you to tackle anything, just call me. I'm not encouraging.
Well, good, how are you? I got the, thank you letter taken care of, so.
Okay, awesome.
It looked quite the way I wanted it to, but I fooled around with it, so it's all good. Gives me more experience with that. Can you let them, somebody know that this and probably our recycling bin probably needs to be.
Okay. I'll put a work order in.
All righty, thank you. Thanks for bringing us pizza too.
Sure, you have a salad in there.
Oh yeah, that's right, I did ask for salad. I gotta make my doctor happy. I knew Rich would be coming pretty quick.
I can smell it.
Yeah.
Now, I have been doing real good with my readings on my testing. So I got 2 pieces today.
Deal.
Figure I can afford to splurge.
Splurge once in a while. Not gonna kill you.
Last time we had pizza, I've had pizza. Don't do it very often anymore.
Did you get you some napkins?
I will.
I have an extra one here. I got 3 of them. So let's take care of you.
But thank you. You've seen me eat before, huh?
People see you out there eating like without a napkin, and
Yeah.
it's bad for the county reputation.
Yeah. We got 700 more of those applications today.
Really?
So 90% of it will be duplicate work that we've already done.
Like I said, the Secretary of State sent out that message saying there's not gonna be 8.7 million people registered to vote in Kansas. There's not even that many citizens.
That are adults. That are able to vote.
Discussion yet?
Yeah. There's some pizza help yourself.
Okay, thank you.
you want a little knife for that, there's some over here.
I try to eat my pizza the old fashioned way.
Yeah, but this part of it was not cooperating, so. The old fashioned way is the best way.
Good call.
That's pretty good. I kind of look at it this way, you know, we support the community by paying 12 or 15 bucks per person when we had these meetings in the
Mm-hmm.
hotel, and now we're not supporting it at all.
Yeah.
Some way, and you know, this is another way to support a
Yeah,
local
it
business.
is, yeah.
The
It is.
economy going a little bit, so. It's not an additional cost.
No.
Don't anticipate, so.
Actually,
Nothing wrong
probably
with it.
save a little money in this particular instance because it's not each person.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Your horses.